Peace, peace, peace. It is QI unapologetically in the building. And there were some things that has happened that are heavy on my heart and that, I truly need to speak about. Something happened on yesterday. And depending on who you are, how you identify, and your experience of life is going to determine how you perceive this particular incident. Now, yesterday on Pizarro's, there was a situation where Lemon's maintenance man came up and he stated that it was hard for him to believe that Lemon was straight. He didn't believe that Lemon was straight. And then all of a sudden, Ghetto, Intellect, and Audio both had issues with Lemon behind that. Now, let's first of all speak of, this is the same Ghetto Intellect that classified himself as a lemonaire. They called me a lemonette. I didn't like that because I am my own content creator. I'm a content creator. So although I might support other content creators, my brand and my identity is my brand. And I never want it intermingled or meshed up with the next person's brand. Like, I'm a content creator on my own, not one that fell off of a lemon tree, if you get what I'm saying. And what I stand on is what I stand on. And I don't just ride or follow the orders, or I'm not in a lemon cult. And just because I support someone doesn't mean I agree to all of their behaviors and different things of that nature. In fact, a lot of times behind the scenes or even sometimes in the chat, I would, tell Lemon my grievances about certain things. But, back to the subject at hand, Lemon, Ghetto, and Audio are all one and the same. They are all disrespectful to women, toxic masculinists, toxic misogynists, and have displayed anti-LGBTIQA discrimination and rhetoric. They all have. So they're all one in the same. And I severely know, or I sincerely know, my bad. The only reason why Ghetto brought up Shakim and Ghetto brought up the Nurse Case situation was because Ghetto is an outcrier. Like I said, Lemon, Ghetto, and their mama's boys. And they always expect for women in particular, even men, to come to their defense, whether they're right or they're wrong. That is one of the things that, I learned early about Lemon. And the reason I know that the only reason he did that is because he has done this same behavior before where, like, he was the one that was in the wrong. Ghetto was the one that was in the wrong, and he wanted other people to take his side. Ghetto would even pay other people to be his voice and take his side like he's doing right now. And like me, I have always been a victim of his anti-LGBTQIA rhetoric. He dropped me off panels in the Mo3 sector. He calls himself trolling me a lot. And, I know it's intentional, and I know it's because of, I know it's because I didn't know specifically whether it was, just based on his misogyny and the fact that I'm a woman, or was it based on my alternate lifestyle? And now I know by observation that it was both. It was both. And Ghetto is also a dangerously manipulative, dangerously gaslighting, and dangerously controlling person. Anytime that people spend money to hate on others, to discriminate on others, to mistreat others, that is a personality disorder. That is a mental illness. That is a issue, a traumatic issue all on its own. That's dangerous. Because just like Ghetto wants to be free, other people want to be free as well. Other people have a right to expression, a right to their lifestyle choice, a right to their happiness. This is not just based on what Ghetto wants and what Ghetto thinks. And Ghetto, with his controlling mentality, he was one who supported Nature Boy, if that'll give you an idea into his patterns of behavior. He was one that supports Tommy Sotomayor. He's very toxic, misogynist and toxic masculinist. And women can be that as well. They can be all those things, okay? But one of the biggest reasons that I know that the only reason why Ghetto brought up the Shakim, Lemon out in Shakim, and the Nurse Case situation, because during the time that all of these things were happening, how many panels did you see Ghetto go back and forth to saying that Lemon was wrong, or addressing Lemon for his concern about his behavior? Nor have we ever seen Ghetto jump on Lemon's panel and discuss the Nurse Case situation, how Lemon disrespects women, or even the Shakim situation. So basically, Ghetto brought up those things only for his benefit, because if he really cared about any of those issues, he would have brought them up during the time. Lemon has displayed so many negative behaviors, so much negativity, until it's like, why now? And then he ran around and defended him for the biggest time, excusing, condoning his behavior. So I just want people to keep that in mind. And now, for whatever reason, because I always knew when Ghetto said that, he had a golf tournament in Vegas, I already knew that it wasn't guaranteed that Ghetto was going to meet up with Lemon. Ghetto is only using Lemon, just like Audio, for clout, for attention, for access to the beef sector, which I don't know why either of them want access to the beef sector when the people who they discriminate against, women, Black women, the LGBTQIA community, is the predominant composition of the beef sector. So why do you want access, or why do you want to be around people you don't like? Is it to discriminate? Is it to mistreat them? Is it, because that's what it appears to be, to control their safe environment, our safe environment? Because that's what it appears to be. Because, like, if you don't, if you have a problem with any of that, this is an area that was created by the LGBTQIA community. So it's a regardless of how we treat each other, regardless of whatever, it's a safety zone, a safety net for us. And I don't understand. That's why one of the things that I did when I was over there, when I saw people get up on Lemon's panel and they displayed those types of things, like a lot of times I would get up there and I would end up arguing with them, but I would have that discussion with them. At that time, I did not know that Lemon displayed narcissistic, toxic masculinity and all, because it was more covert. Like a lot of people, they wear a mask and then all of a sudden they take that mask off. That's what happened. Now, am I glad that finally the Nurse K and the Shakim situation got some light, as well as like all the other day one supporters of Lemon who were over there, who was used as content. Lemon has been doing all of this stuff from day one, and there was no outrage. And my biggest reason for doing this recording is the fact that Honest Road got up there. And I think that Shakim is convoluting several different issues into one. Because there are several different issues. These are layers of issues when it comes down to this Lemon situation, this Ghetto situation, this Audio situation, all combined into one. And that's what I'm saying. In order for everybody to get justice, in order for everybody to, like everybody has a right to express their feelings and their concerns. In order for everyone's concerns and everyone's issues to get expressed, you have to break them layers down. Some people are like, okay, the issue is Lemon is catfishing. Okay, how long has this been known as well, right? And like for me, if I'm a friend to somebody, if I'm cool with somebody and stuff, it's not based on the way they look. It's based on their character and the way that they treat me. When we go, I just have to start. Like if I was to go on a trip with Lemon and I felt like he couldn't dress, or I felt like this, I would have to have that discussion with him, and I would have to, we might go shopping, before we actually get on camera or start the trip. I might help him to construct and fit and put together some outfits. I might help him to do some things. I might help him to adjust to the fact that, yes, your eye is messed up. That's something that might is may or may not be his fault. I don't know. But at the same time, like he's gonna have to, learn how to live with it. And a real friend is not gonna make him feel bad about it, but instead, make him feel comfortable in his skin. Real real friends, they uplift and support each other. Now, and it also means that you tell, a real friend tells a real friend where they go wrong. Not to be mean, not to tear them down, but because they want to see a better version of their friend. As well, it's like this. Most of the people that I see speaking out on this issue, other than like Honest Row, and I'll even say Shy Kim, and back to that situation, I didn't see Honest Row, like he's super kind. So like when he could have said some ugly things towards Lemon, he didn't do it because that's not him. But he did speak about the fact that all this time, and and the whole issue is that Ghetto is homophobic. Ghetto's ashamed to be with Lemon. They thought that Lemon was straight, and now like they're finding that visually, even if he's straight or not, that he doesn't look straight. So now all of a sudden they're ashamed. So what I want for people out there that are listening to me or who hear this replay or whatever to consider is, imagine how that made people of the LGBTQIA community feel. It's like you're putting us in the closet. You're making us feel like we're something that we have to be ashamed of. You're making it seem like it's a big issue, like about who we are. I don't care whether Lemon is straight or not. I don't. I'm not going to sleep with him. So it doesn't matter with me. That's something personal and intimate and for the bedroom. And I think a lot of people, they're too concerned about what other people do in their bedrooms, which leads me to believe or leads me to know that there's lack of things happening in theirs. Because like I said, everybody has a right to their happiness. If it's not affecting another person, then what does it have to do with you? That's personal. But the way that Ghetto presented that was very homophobic, very discriminatory. And anybody who if you're what do you call it, effeminate, as they might say, gay man, if you're trans. And let me just go ahead and break down this trans thing that y'all got wrong. Trans has nothing to do with the physical aspects, whether you've had surgery, whether you didn't, blah blah blah. It has to do with how you identify. Just like, look at that picture, that's me. Only thing I did was add a beard and a goatee. I'm a masculine identifying, what that y'all call male identified, the true definition of a male identified woman. But I'm a woman. Therefore, I'm not trans. Now, if I identify myself as a male, although I dress masculine, I walk and my demeanor is masculine. Now, my voice is not so much, I don't think. But, although I have a lot of masculine tendencies, I'm not trans because, like, I know that I'm a woman. I'm just a woman who likes to dress I might be more of a cross dresser or like a drag king or something like that, versus a trans. But I like who I am. I'm happy with who I am. And people are always discriminating on me for who I am, which is none of their business. It's like I'm not hurting nobody. Who have I hurt? I'm not hurting anyone. And I have a right to be who I am. I have a right to be happy. And that's what I mean. Like, A lot of these people who were speaking on the situation, who are not a part of the community and who may or may not have been affected by these issues, like, don't have a right to speak, because these are people's real lives. This is my real life. That's and although, like, I am not defending Lemon. Yeah, has done some bad things, and no, no, no. But let's just say Shaquille and Roe. This is our real life. Like, we're not gonna promote, because what Ghetto was doing was promoting discrimination amongst the LGBTQIA community. Like, and that goes back to, and so does Audio, and so has a lot of these men that Lemon have brought over here, or some women. So it's like, if you don't like the LGBTQIA, if you have an issue, and if you're not trying to seek understanding, then you should not be here. Because this was a community that was created by the LGBTQIA. And the LGBTQIA has the right to their own place. It would be different if we were going into other sectors and we were infringing our lifestyle onto you. Now, I notice some trans do that as well. I notice some trans people, they might do that. But I'm not one that believes that. Just like I don't want people to infringe their beliefs onto me. I don't want people to infringe, I don't want to, I'm not trying to infringe my belief onto other people. Just like, we're going to respect each other. We're going to respect the religion, our opinions, our, lifestyle, our respect. Because we weren't built to be robots in the first place. We were built to be diverse. That's how we learn. And so a lot of people has it so wrong when it comes down to this Ghetto. And that's because a lot of them are homophobic. A lot of them are homophobic, and we know it. And they sort of want to dictate. And they love using us for content, trying to rip us apart for our alternative lifestyles for content, because they're greedy, because a lot of different things, because they have issues within them, their own selves. But likewise, they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be in this space. They need to create their own space and leave this space created by the LGBTQIA for the LGBTQIA community. Point blank, period. And I've always said that. I have always said that. We have a problem with outing. Like Lemon outed Nurse K and Shaquem. The only outrage came because at that time they were against Lemon, because they go back and forth being against Lemon, for Lemon, against Lemon, for Lemon, against Lemon, for Lemon. And it just depends on how many cash apps they're getting, how much support they're getting, or how desperate they are for content. It's all based on clicks, views, whatever. And that's why, it's hard to have outrage with some stuff when the outrage is always selective. It depends on if that person is well liked or not. It depends on if, that person has numbers or not. A lot of things depend on different things. And this is nothing like the original beef sector. The original beef sector, like, when it came down to issues, you might have two sides of the story. You might have two different opinions, but basically there was outrage, and each side was, fighting for their right. Just like back in the day, it was like basically they felt like the gay men were being discriminatory towards the black women, and vice versa. And so we used to have those debates. But now it's totally different. We see these same women that cry about men getting more, gay men getting more respect and everything, bringing in these toxic masculinities, bringing in these homophobic men, bringing in this stuff to this space. Then they say, "Oh, why are these men getting more support?" Because you're not supporting your subscribers and the other content creators around you. You're being selfish, greedy, and you're doing what you want to do. You're almost like, in a sense, covertly bullying for content, for money, for greed. And then you think that people are not supposed to speak out and have a problem. You try to silence people like me who speak out. And that's one of the reasons why, like, I get a lot of, because I've always been controversial. And a lot of people don't like when you express yourself, whether right, wrong, or your opinion, or ask questions. They don't like it, so they try to silence you because they don't want you to say anything about the wrong that they may be doing or their bad behavior, especially if you're a woman. Now, they might take a little something from men. A lot of these women and stuff will take a little something from men. But then when it comes down to women saying it or women expressing themselves, it's like, okay, we're ready to rip your head off. Because they have a lack of respect for themselves as a woman, as a Black woman, as XYZ. They have a lack of respect for other women. That's why we say self-hatred issues. I used to do a lot of live streams talking about different issues. I don't anymore. Like, since I've been on YouTube, I've always been controversial because I've always been an advocate and an activist, and I've always spoken out. I'm just taking a different approach because I realize that people are not mature enough to have the conversations. People are not mature enough to have the debates. People are not mature enough to get down to the root of the issue and come up with a solution that works for everybody. Just like with this political thing. A lot of this stuff don't boil down really to racism. A lot of this stuff don't boil down. The root of it really ain't the political parties. But we can't get past that because that's the biggest thing that you do. You cause a deflection by causing division. The biggest way to win is to cause division, divide and conquer. And we're constantly falling for that. As a collective, as a people, as a gender, as genders, we're constantly falling for those things, divide and conquer. That's why they like to see a lot of these men, toxic men, they like to see Black women fight Black women and division amongst Black women. But then a lot of times Black women don't see that. They win when we fight. But anyways, I just came on to express that. Because it bothered me. And it bothered me that it bothers me that people, they try to silence people. They like sit down and take it. Like coax, control. And then a lot, like I said, these women are causing their own detriment. They're letting their own enemies in. They're letting their ops play on their tops. And these are the same women that will attack me. And it's like, what? Do I help them? I have tried to help them. But instead, they're going to still attack me or bring in people to attack me. Like I said, they win. And then they wonder why they don't get support. Because you built this situation. You created this monster. You're doing it. The old days, the original beef sector, it wasn't like that. We used to do infighting, but at the same time, when nobody else coming in here to do it, it's like, no, we don't stand on anything anymore in the beef sector. And people are ashamed of it at this point. No network would ever pick up this because this is not entertainment. This is dysfunction, toxicity. This is a lot of things. It's not funny. Back in the day, some of that stuff used to be funny. We used to have some bad moments, but a lot of times you could leave and laugh. It was skits. It wasn't, like it wasn't as toxic. Now it's like these people are laughing. It's like to me, it looks like a bunch of demons and devils and snakes and stuff jumping up and down over hurting other people. Then they think because you don't do it, like I can't do it. I've said a long time. That's why I don't try to do B sector content because I have a conscience. I can go deep, dirty, do everything that anybody else out here is doing, plus probably. But I have a conscience, and I have to be able to sleep at night. I have to be able to live with myself. A lot of people, oh, they religion, they Christians, and all of that. Christians, they are here, like they know that you're God. Everybody's God's people. So why are you treating? Why are you treating God's creation like trash, whether it be nature or whether it be people? But anyways, like I said, that whole thing, it boils down to Ghetto doesn't belong in the B sector. Ghetto, he's running around from panel to panel, getting, highlighted, promoting toxic masculinity, misogyny, promoting homophobia. That's what he's doing. He's a Tommy Sotomayor. He's a nature boy supporter. He told you that. And it's just, they're praising their op. But anyways, it's like, and he's a good gaslighter, a good manipulator. And, he's like a lot of these men, like Lemon Audio, they rally up. They're good at rallying up the mamas. Oh, my son, when they're wrong. And you see what the products of that, what happens is you don't produce men. You produce overgrown, misogynistic, angry, DV types of men. But anyways, like I said, I just needed to vent on that because it disturbed me. And it disturbed me that Honest Row came out, and that wasn't about protecting Lemon. That was about the fact that offended him. That offended Brian. That offended a lot of us within the LGBT community. Ghetto has always attacked. He attacked Jay Wilson, for God's sakes, a long time ago. It's always been known that he's homophobic. And the question that nobody answers him, and they can keep giving him the keys and the power to the city when he doesn't belong here. Because this wasn't a space that was created by him. He can't come change this space because LGBT and Black women have a right to safety. They have a right to be in a space where they don't get attacked. And so be it if people don't like me for speaking out. Because I'm going to do it because I'm a Black woman. I'm part of the community. And I never have liked it. I've always advocated for justice and against dysfunction and injustice. For women, children, even men. But I'll be doggone if I put somebody else's concerns, somebody else's feelings, somebody else's life, somebody else's safety in front of my own. And that's what people got to start looking. You cannot put these people in front of yourself. Because what they're doing is throwing y'all out there in front of the buses, and they don't care if you get ran over or not. They're sitting there throwing you out there, letting you get ran over. Lemon has done that a million times. He did that to me intentionally, all because him and Resto ran the play to get Resto into the B sector and to deflect from him bringing in all the races and different things to deflect, and it worked. He deflected onto myself and the fact that I was a supporter of male. And then when it died out and they saw that wasn't working, here come Resto and tried to put a sexual topping on top of something that wasn't sexual. It was just that I was in a space that I could feel comfortable being myself. It wasn't mistaken. And then if something was mistaken or misunderstood, it was easy for us to communicate and get back onto the same page. Because a lot of people are not used to, lesbians. But there was one time I didn't even tell people that on here. Like, I've always been open in real life, but on here, like like until the B sect, I didn't tell people. Because it's not supposed to matter, because I'm so much more than, like who I choose to love. There are so many other components to me and anybody else who's in the LGBTQIA community other than that. But that's everybody's own, their focus. That's because they have issues with it. That's what you call homophobia. When you can't get past something that doesn't have anything to do with you, and look at what does, or look at me as a person, or look at how I treat you, or look at how I might support you. When you just can't get past that, that's homophobia. And Black people are prejudiced. Black people can be racist. But at any rate, like I said, I'm gonna try to end this. I'm working on some projects and different things, and I need to get back to them. I just needed to vent. I just need to speak out about that. It was like Ro was not defending Shakim, and I hate when stuff that needs to get spoken about gets convoluted, or people intentionally convoluted because they're protecting, or they've been paid by Ghetto to defend and protect and to cover him up and help him to be able to surface around, when Ghetto does so many dysfunctional and toxic things to other people. And a lot of these other people do. But then it's it's selective. There's never any outrage. But when it happens to them, it's supposed to be, oh. And the sad part is the crowd follows along. And that's why it doesn't make a difference. That's why nothing ever gets solved. That's why the same things keep happening, because it's not built on a strong foundation. But at any rate, let me go ahead and get out of here. But I thank all that came out to support me. I like y'all to smash that like, share if you can. And this is about something that I'm experiencing for the people outside of this sector. This is just something that, I am experiencing within a area of YouTube that, I have done content in. It's like an experience. And I wish that I could say I won't be doing many of these live streams again, but it just depends on, what happens. Because sometimes you do need to speak. Sometimes you do need to address things. But at any rate, like I said, I appreciate all that came out to support me. I would love for y'all to like the video, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you subscribe, and feel free by all means to leave your comments. I'm not, I don't believe in, I believe in free expression. Like I said, if you read my ticker, it says free thinkers. The only way I can learn is I listen to you, or if I listen to other people's perspectives, or if I read something different, if I seek other knowledge. So I'm very open about other people's opinions, as long as it's not disrespectful. I'm very open about any types of discussions. In fact, I'm one who like to have conversations, and I like to have debates. So by all means, like I stated, feel free to leave your comments. I'm going to try to be more, it's going to take a while, because I am working on some things. I have been doing a lot of things when it comes down to this channel and this brand. However, you know how it's like, you have to make sure you do things the appropriate way and in the right way. And I've been trying to do that. And unfortunately, or fortunately, that sometimes requires you to move a lot slower than you ultimately want to or would. But at any rate, like I said, I appreciate all of y'all. Much love, peace, and happiness to everyone. And I am out. Peace. It is unapologetically QI exiting the building.